We back. Yeah. Malcolm, this next one is from Jubilee again. This is mothers versus daughters. Is marriage necessary? Ooh, this is a good dialogue, though. I guess.
Sounds spicy.
Yeah, they look like they're actual mothers and daughters too. Like they might be the daughters of their mothers. That's what it looks like, at least. Let's find out, though.
Let's find out. Or maybe they're random. No. I hope they are a little random.
Asian, white, black.
Don't mean that they connected, probably.
It might be.
It might be. You might be right. You might be wrong.
Let's see.
Let's find out.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
The husband is very important for you. It takes time, but I still hope you can get married before 30 years old.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So we getting really personal.
All around the world, women face pressure from society and even their own families to live a certain way and fit specific expectations. Whether it's marriage or career-related, it seems everyone has a thought on how we ought to live. We partnered with SK2, a global skincare brand that continues to empower women to take control and shape their own destiny as part of their global Change Destiny campaign. Together, we explore the pressures women feel to conform to a certain timeline by inviting mothers and daughters to discuss these very real issues in their own lives. Enjoy the episode and be sure to stick around to the end for more info to share.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jewel. I'm Africa's mom. Mom of 5 and I'm an educator.
My name is Anne Marie. I have 5 children and I'm a housewife.
My name is Cindy. I have 2 daughters. One is Cassandra here, and I'm a housewife.
I'm Chelsie. I am a travel blogger and a teacher.
My name is Afrika. I am a songwriter and a dancer.
My name is Cassandra. I am a social media influencer, dancer, and gamer.
Nice. Yeah.
I do believe that marriage is an old-fashioned institution. That doesn't mean that it's not important or that it's not relevant, but I feel like it is dated and it is transforming into something different.
I would definitely feel like the reasons for marriage are much different now than it was before. I don't believe that it is a requirement in life as much.
For me, it's like the history of marriage started with women literally being sold as if they were property, and like that's archaic, and I just don't agree with that as a concept. But at the same time, I'm a romantic, and I believe in love, and I believe that if you love someone, you should be allowed to marry them if that's what you want.
I like this group so far.
My husband and I, when we got married, we just love each other, and very naturally. So we don't have any other concern about do we have enough money or do we have any other things. We just very pure, yeah.
Personally, I love you, Mom, but I would not do what you did. I would not do that. If I'm correct, Mom, you got married at 25, and I believe you dated Dad for 6 months.
Yes.
Right, before that marriage. I personally fully believe that before marriage you should be living with that person, because living with someone I feel like is different than just dating them.
Word.
I don't know. That whole, we're not gonna live together for 2 years and you ain't put, So you could die tomorrow and I'll just be sitting here with this rent. Like there's some assurities in marriage. If you want me, you gotta put up the cost to pay the boss. Like, period.
I think you ladies, think that you're gonna move in with your spouse, right? And then that first year is gonna be bliss if it's the right one. That's not the case. So you move in with someone 6 months, oh, we're not compatible. Well, you might have been. If you're married, you're committed to working through life together. I mean, Chelsie, I don't know if are you living with your boyfriend?
I am, and that's something that I guess for me is a little bit of a frustration because we've been together for almost 4 years. I can tell that, you know, my siblings that are married and have like a kid on the way, or my friends that have kids and are married, it's their lives and their relationships are taken more seriously than mine is. We are just as committed, you know, we're monogamous, we care about each other, it's a partnership. And I just get frustrated that because we're not married, that means that we're just dating, it's like frivolous, you know what I mean? Which it's not.
Oh, she said she didn't want to get married. Well, no, she didn't say that. She just said that it's old-fashioned.
Yeah.
That's the way the question is like given to them. But yeah, fashion. Well, marriage is old-fashioned. Cause I don't know, cause like it's kind of crazy because like even if you aren't married and you're together with a person for like I think a certain amount of years or something like that, and y'all live together, some shit like that, like legally, you all are married. You just haven't signed the paper. I forgot exactly what the fuck it was called. But it's some type of situation or something. Yeah, it's something like that. But like if you've been with that person, y'all live together for like a certain amount of time, like legally, she kind of has. You all kind of have the same rights or whatever the case is as a married couple. Whatever the case is, I think it's something like that. But yeah, like they were saying, marriage is old-fashioned. I mean, it's marriage.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because, like, to me, that I felt just like old girl. Like, before me and my wife were married or whatever, we were like you literally like get to know a person when you live with them for like some years and stuff. Like honestly, you kind of get to see the side of them like while you dating and stuff, but when you actually live with that person, you see everything. You see both of you guys' flaws. You see what ticks you off, what ticks her off, you know, and you kind of like learn and
eating habits.
I think in that kind of way it kind of strengthens you too, because like I have like relatives that like they like super old fashioned and they got married and then like ended up getting like a divorce later, like because like you know they all moved in together and stuff and they temperaments was like different and shit.
She was with the guy for 6 months and then they got married. But that's also probably good, I guess, because I guess throughout the years, whatever the case is, they're still married, whatever the case is, they figure each other out. But like moving in, or like not even moving in, just getting married after like 6 months, and like you have like no pride, because you know how me and my wife are. We were together for like 4 or 5 years, and then we broke up for probably 3-4 years, probably again, or something like that. I'm not sure for sure, but like, we have a prior history though.
Yeah, because like, y'all were like dating in high school.
So like we have history, but like if she just met somebody like off the street randomly and like 6 months later we get married, like that's kind of weird. Like that's kind of out.
I think that's more so on us because like we like to have more information on like the person that we planning to spend our life with, but like that's why I'm like saying like the status of it is kind of old fashioned because like they just like kind of learning as you go type of thing, or we we want everything structured and like
certain things I need to know
before we get into it. Yeah. It's like I need to know if you crazy before.
Need to know if you gonna cut any of my clothes up.
Right.
When you get mad. Need to know you ain't gonna burn shit down.
When
shit don't go your way.
Or vice versa. You need to know that I ain't finna Homer Simpson you.
Cause I'll bust a window out. Call it what you want to.
Yeah, you know, like
you just gotta figure stuff out. You gotta figure each other out, bro. Cause 6 months ain't enough time to figure shit out. But you go to a new job, you don't know in 6 months if you still want to be in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine the relationship with a whole other person.
Yeah, that's true.
That's short. I mean, certain people do certain things, I guess, man.
Yeah, but usually you kind of know, like, I would say this, like, about, like, when you with a person for a while, I do get that, because, like, we kind of went through the same thing, like, with, like, because, like, some of her parents are a little old-fashioned, too.
But then you met Jasmine over Skype or some shit.
No. It was I met her in college.
Over college, okay.
We met in college.
But
we met at the dorms.
Y'all Skyped a lot and shit too, though.
That was when she moved back home and
So,
like we
so
was
long
like
distance
flying,
and
yeah,
stuff,
for
shit.
like a little while, and then she ended up moving. We ended up moving together. She moved back to the city and stuff, and like we were together for a couple, like a couple years before we actually got married. You know, what's crazy is, you know, sometimes you do see that with like your parents or like grandparents or whoever, that they value is like they value that married status more than like we kind of do, because like
Yeah, there's some people that's married that will never get a divorce.
right, and they in a
And they
toxic
miserable.
ass they in a toxic ass thing, and it's like why are you even in that like environment? Like at that point you should just leave. Like I never understood that. Like I know some people that like parents like that's like that, and young people that's like that. I don't understand that. Like just because like you get married don't mean that two people can't like, you know, part ways or something
cool
like
yeah.
and it's just weird.
Starting at 3, 2, 1. See how much deeper we get.
My mom's expectations and goals for me, she wants me to get married and have kids because she thinks that will make me feel fulfilled and happy. Right now, I live with my long-term boyfriend. We don't know if we will ever get married or have children. We're focusing on our careers. My passion is traveling and seeing new cultures. That's what makes me happy and brings me joy, and that's what I'm focusing on right now.
I felt pressured by my parents to get married.
My parents are, they're kind of wishy-washy. They respect a little bit of my wanting to delay my marriage, but on my boyfriend's side of things, his mom, you know, we've been living together for a long time and she didn't really know about it. I think she kind of did, but she wasn't gonna think about it. She's been calling my boyfriend, and every time she's like, okay, you need to propose. You need to get married, you're living together, it's time, it's happening.
I recently separated from my boyfriend, and my dad freaked out. He literally was texting me like, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't gamble, he doesn't drink, he doesn't womanize.
He's like, I actually like him.
What more do you want?
Hold on, Bob. Dad's like,
That's
fucking this up
that's
for
a
me.
first, right?
Yeah.
I can have season passes to all the football games. You just fucking it up.
Yeah, I think Dad was more invested in the guy he liked. He actually liked.
You hurting him hurts me.
He's like, come on, get back together, please.
Right. That's funny. That's funny as hell. Say he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. He's not a womanizer. What the fuck could he do?
That was hilarious.
Oh shit. Starting at the 3, 2, 1.
I didn't know you have the pressure of marriage until now. I feel bad. The husband is very important for you. It takes time to know this person. So I really don't want to give you any pressure. But I still hope you can get married before 30 years old.
I love you very much, but that's not happening.
I think my mom was the opposite. From the time I was really little, she was working full time. She was never available. I had a friend who I'd go to her house and her mom was there all cute with her cookies, right? And it's like, I want that life. And it was always get married late and you better continue working in a high-powered job and pay your own bills, because if your husband leaves you, I guess I just bounced and just did the absolute opposite. You know, I did get my degree, but then I was married at 23.
I think it's difficult because I think we're one of the first generations of when like divorce was common. Like I remember growing up in elementary school, it would be like 75% of the class had parents that were divorced or split up. So I think we're a lot more, you know, nervous.
Cautious.
We have a lot more trepidation. We really want to be sure.
I mean, I get everything that you guys are saying, and I understand it. I know what it's like to be in a marriage when you or yourself are not fulfilled, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. The only challenge, if you're constantly like, okay, well, this is great, and this was 2 years, and the next one will be great, and that was 3 years, when do you say, okay, right here is where I'm going to build?
But at the same time, I mean, again, we're not saying date 100 people. I know for me personally, whenever I'm actually entering into a new relationship, I do believe this is going to be the last one. Again, you don't know people 100% until you've dated them, until you've taken that time. Time can't be rushed.
Yeah, that's real.
Were you pressured?
I would say so a little bit, cause like, you know, parents like they kind of want the best for you, but like, you know, like that Asian lady's mom or whatever, she was saying like she didn't know, like, you know, she was feeling pressure and shit. I don't think they subconsciously know that they doing it, but like, you know, when, like, cause like I think the whole thing of like time, like meaning like time on Earth, like I think that's what really scares like parents and grandparents and stuff, because they want to
those moments where the kids is.
Right, they want to see those moments where they get to see like grandchildren or walking their daughter or son, you know, down the aisle and actually seeing the wedding part, and they feel like they're gonna miss out of it if, you know, they don't do it either right away or like do it at all. Yeah, then they feel like they just gonna basically run out of time where they don't get to see those moments. Yeah. For me, like, I think when was it? Like, me and Jasmine was together by like, I want to say like we was together for like 4 years before. I think the 5th year was the year I proposed, but like around there, Jasmine know better than me. I lose track of time.
You don't know the day that you proposed?
No.
Oh my God!
don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. No, I'm saying that like time moment, cause like cause before then, what I'm saying is before then, like parents like, so when y'all getting married? Like, this is my mom saying that, and then her parents was like, so when y'all getting married? So it's like a constant thing. Like even when us being like together for like a year, 2, 3, then it's like 4. It's like, all right, so like y'all been together for a while, so like, what's the hold up? What's the deal? Like, so something needs to happen or something like that. And it's like, all right, so like, cause like, I don't know, parents just feel like that clock is against them or some shit. They be like, come on, I want grandkids and shit. Like, you know.
I don't remember.
What was it like for you?
Well, I know for a fact my mom didn't know shit about us getting married. I don't think her mom knew either.
Yeah, shit, I was surprised.
I think we took my mom out to dinner though, like the next day after we left the courthouse or whatever. Mm-hmm. We took her. I forgot how we told her mom. I think we just told her mom at her house. So we probably cooked for her just to bribe him, make it a little sweeter that we ain't tell him. But yeah, I don't know, cause I don't know how long we were together. I don't know exactly how long we were together before we actually even got married.
Yeah, cause you would have to count. You would have to
count a lot.
It's harder for you because like
y'all
was. Yeah, that too. I was gonna say because y'all was together in high school for a bit.
Yeah, but then we broke up, and then when we got back together though, I don't know how long we were together then though. Like before we actually got married.
Yeah, you say I'm bad.
I definitely remember the day I proposed. I know the day I got married. Proposed? That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different monster right there.
Dun, dun, dun.
She don't listen to the podcast. We'll be alright.
I'm telling.
But yeah, I don't know. But, we didn't. I didn't never get no pressure from nobody. Like period. Like her mom, my mom, my dad.
I was really relaxed. Well, it might have been. Well, it's probably a little.
I ain't even getting no innuendos.
Ain't getting no innuendos.
I ain't getting shit.
I was getting those. Like.
I ain't getting nothing. Not
like,
that I know of, at least. If I did, it went over my goddamn head.
He probably did. Because I know your mom, he probably did.
Starting at a 3, 2, 1.
My current plan for the future is to establish my career. I'm highly interested in a professional career in songwriting. I don't have any plans for marriage or kids. Being who I want to be, living where I want to live, all those things are important for me right now.
By the time I was her age, I had 3 kids, and I was a mom. I think womanhood is very powerful. We literally give life to the world.
She was a teacher. She didn't say what kind of teacher. She was a dance teacher. Some of the mothers should have sat down.
Have you ever noticed that, I don't know, but I have definitely asked a significant other here or there, or maybe even just a guy friend, like, hey, do you want kids? You know, and they're also like taken aback, like, I've never been asked that before. Whoa, you know? And for women, I feel like it's almost expected, like, you should have a plan.
That's the perception we're given, especially as women, is like, you need to be married in order to be happy. You need to have kids in order to be happy, or like for your life to mean anything.
Which is not true. I have an aunt who is unmarried and did not have kids, and she has a long-term partner that she lives with, and they travel all the time. They can afford to do what they want, and they're happy, and they're living a good life.
I made the conscious decision about 3 months ago maybe to get like tubal ligation and basically just like tubes tied. Because I don't know, I'm just tired of this whole back and forth, like, oh, you gotta take this birth control and whatever, and like, a lot of them don't work for me. When I talk to the doctors, of course, it's their job to like ask you all these questions, are you sure, blah, 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 and like, but it's so interesting, they make you sign a paper, but they make you wait 30 days.
Didn't know.
Again, just in case you change your mind. That's just a decision I made personally because it's just not what I want. I just don't want kids. I never have.
I think it's so funny because I think you guys are like breaking their hearts. Because Afrika, when you said that did you get the tubal ligation?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you already did it. I'm like getting teary.
Yeah, she was over there
honestly.
like, yeah.
And I don't know why, I'm sorry, but it's like, what do you know when you're 25?
I'm 26.
26. I'm just saying, I have friends who made it to like 39 or 40, never wanted kids, and then changed their mind. I think it's one of the most amazing things about being a woman is actually carrying a life inside you, you know? And I know you disagree with me.
How do you young people feel when you hear her saying she wants tubal ligation?
I was really surprised by that. I support you, absolutely. But that's definitely not what I would want for myself.
It's something I wouldn't do because I'm still very uncertain. It changes every day. So for you to have the courage to do it, I believe that you are all-knowing and that you really believe in it.
You know, we have 5 kids. My middle daughter is like the opposite of me. She's in an all-male business, high-powered job, and then I talk to her about kids and having a family, getting married, and she blows me off. I really try to hold back from being like pushing my opinions on people, but I do, you know, my daughter, I mean, like, you really need to have at least one child just to experience it.
Well, I didn't know if you did it or not, because I just had to let it at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your decision. I would never say you have to have a child. It was very disappointing and hurtful for me, though. I feel that having children and bringing life is like the most natural thing. Like,
so for me, my mom had me really young, and I watched her give up everything, you know, to be a mother and to raise me. And she was a single mom for a while. In a selfish way, part of me is like, I don't know if I can do that to the level that she did. And I feel bad because part of me is like, do I owe her a grandchild because of what she did for me? You know what I mean? Do I owe her that?
I think if you have a marriage and have a children, one day if you're really sick and parents are not here, and someone can take care of you.
I agree, but I feel like there's so much more that I need to learn. And I'm just now learning, like, it's scaring me how some people that I know who are getting married, you know, don't know how to do their taxes. And everything's just kind of taken care of. And that can be a nice thing. But for me, I very much want to be able to take care of myself. But I also know myself, and I'm a very social person. If I am on my deathbed with whatever cancer it may be at that point, I feel like I would have no trouble having people who care about me surrounding me.
Pause. That one left at the end.
Yeah, it's heavy.
I don't got shit to say about kids. It's too late for both of us.
Right? But you know, it's funny. Like
I
I was in that.
I don't care.
I was kind of in that headspace. Like
not having kids.
Yeah.
You gonna get your tubes tied?
Not that far spit in that space. No, but originally when me and her was dating and stuff, I didn't think I wanted to like have kids. Like that took time. Like it literally took time. Like you do like eventually, you know, change your mind. Cause like at one point I was like, you know what, I wouldn't. And that was just a part of me. Like I guess, my history and stuff, because like, not saying like my childhood was fucked up or anything like that, but like my relationship with my father was like sour or bad.
Yeah, just don't want to repeat the past.
Right, and that was like one of the things that was like internally stopping me from like, you know, wanting kids and stuff, because it's like I have to like basically fix myself before I bring somebody else in the equation, and start caring for them. So like, yeah, eventually like people do change their minds, but that's kudos to her if she knows exactly what she wants, because like I've seen some people that like change their mind like, but it's like a 50-50. It's like a 50-50, bro, because like yeah, once you do that, like it's kind of hard for people to have kids when they get it reversed. So yeah, that's heavy.
Starting to get a 3, 2, 1.
I got married when I was 25. Even though she has a lot of friends, I think the family is the most important.
I would love to have children in the future. I just don't know if that's like my top priority right now. It's a personal goal of mine to build my Chinese lion dance team and to pursue the endeavors that I've started.
Gender roles are important.
We had a conversation about this before.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's embarrassing to admit, but it's just I just feel like, you know, I'm not like my husband, and the way we've set up our family has worked for us. You know what? I'm okay making him dinner every night. I'm okay for him, you know, paying the bills. And, you know, I was really okay having children. And, you know, I think children do better when a mom is at home and she takes on that traditional role. But don't hate me, ladies.
We don't hate you. We love you. You're fine.
It's not a popular choice, right?
No,
it's not
it's
a popular thought.
But I think it's a spectrum, right? Because I definitely believe in letting a man be a man, but he can cook too. There's nothing wrong with that. Who really has the right to tell somebody this is what real womanhood is, or this is what real manhood is? Somebody could say, you know, I wasn't a good mom for taking my kids down to the university twice a week because I needed to finish my master's. But I did that so that I could be a better mom to them.
My boyfriend and I have a pretty interesting situation. He's from a pretty traditional family, but I'm crazy independent. I'm like the financer of a lot of the relationship, and a lot of times he cooks. And we have that flipped, but we've made it work.
I'm on this whole thing right now where I separated from my boyfriend because I was like, I need to live on my own for a while, because I found myself changing within the relationship and losing my independence to the point where I felt like I couldn't do things.
When we first got married, we fell into those roles, you know, and so my husband hasn't cooked dinner for us for like 28 years. I'm not up on our finances. He pays all the bills. Over to him at in my early 20s. It's worked for us. So I don't know if it's a bad thing. You know what? If he wasn't supportive, I probably couldn't be that kind of wife or couldn't do that, right? But I do struggle with guilt a little bit that I've kind of given that over to my husband all this time, you know, and I've kind of gotten to a safe place. But maybe that's going to change.
Okay, girlfriend. Get your money, girl.
Damn. Your husband don't know the smell of charcoal and redwood and shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, at least. Man, I mean, she be doing like grilling for 4th of July or something. That's crazy.
Something funny about this. Me and my wife just had a whole conversation about this like the other day. I forgot what the fuck we even like led up to it, whatever the case is. But like, we don't get like traditional roles either.
No, we don't.
Like something funny. My wife gets the kids' haircuts. My wife, what else should she do? She takes them to like all the activity, all the like sports activities, like karate and all that shit. She does all that shit. What else is a man probably supposed to do? I don't want to.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, I can't think off offhand, but But I cook, I clean, I wash the clothes, I grocery shop. She ain't went grocery shop for like 3-4 years down there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and we even if she did go, we would go together. And she don't do that. Like when we used to go to the laundromat and shit like that, I used to go to the laundromat by myself and shit. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, it's not like traditional, I guess. Like caveman, bring home money.
Yeah.
Bring home food to slap on the table you cook.
Right, like your wife just sitting there with a martini ready for you, walking in the door and shit.
It's not a crack beer open for me when I sit down on my love seat.
Right.
That's not happening. But yeah.
Yeah, I could say the same thing. Well, for me and my wife, yeah, we're not in that spectrum either, because like we both cook, like, so like we'll have our days where we just like swatch or whatever, but I'm usually the one that cleans and like do laundry and stuff, and come and think about it, like before when Xavier was born, I was like the stay-at-home dad.
All right.
Like when he was born, like that whole year, I was like at home with him. Like I was doing all the cooking, the cleaning, feeding him and stuff, and the potty training and stuff. And it's just crazy, like, cause like we not in that little.
I feel like that shit is like a competition for some reason.
I don't know why. Like people like think that.
Yeah.
I don't see that as. I just see that
like
as
your wife
like you
bring
helping
home
us.
all the money. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people get. Yeah, like I don't understand. Like some people get like.
Yeah, she does. Nigga, and I cook and clean. And I'm very happy.
Right. Well.
I have to go to the outside world.
well, for me, like during that time or whatever, like it was crazy because like.
Some shit though, right?
Kinda. I was kinda doing it then.
Whenever you felt like
whenever I felt like
so
it, but that was when Uber was like first popping and stuff. But yeah, at that time, it was crazy because like I learned that like that's not for me. Like being at home, because well, not so much as like the spending time and like being with my son a lot and stuff, and like cooking for my wife and stuff. Like I enjoyed doing that stuff. It was just the fact that just like. Me being
in the house 24/7.
Yeah, like it kind of drove me a little store crazy and stuff. Like I did have like my activities outside. Like I was still doing my martial arts and stuff on like weekends and stuff like that.
But try it.
Yeah,
but I ain't had a chance to try it yet.
Yeah, it's overrated. And then like it's funny because like then my wife like flipped where like when Leilani was born, she took basically a year off. Well, she had like her maternity leave or whatever, and she was staying at home. But this time she had both of the kids, so I was like, "You got twice."
Right.
Yeah, you had to like the 10th power. I only had like one. But yeah, I can understand because like she learned that that's not for her either. Like she was so used to working and stuff too, because like. Me and her, like we like working people, like we so used to like having jobs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been telling my wife she quit her job. She said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I said, "All right."
That's funny. Yeah, because my wife.
Fuck you! I'm not staying at home all day. That's what she told me.
Yeah, because my wife did the same thing I did. She was like going store crazy too, like being at home. Like she loved being with the kids, seeing like they first everything's and stuff like that, actually being there and stuff. It's just after a while, like because like right, and we was like kind of used to that, like I guess for our like generation, whatever, we were like used to working and shit, and we used to like having two, incomes and stuff. So, yeah, that is like it is like crazy when you like think about it, because like what's funny is
But I think that stereotype shit only happens because you have other people in your fucking relationship too.
Yeah, what's funny though, like people assume that I'm the dirty one. Like when they come to like I remember when
I don't know why, but I'm a neat freak.
Yeah, I am too.
I don't know why.
I'm a neat freak. I guess I was trained very well in my younger days, in my childhood. Cause like when me and Jasmine was like dating, we was living together and stuff. I remember when her mom first came to visit or whatever, and she was like, "What's all this everywhere?" And she was talking about the bathroom. She's like, "Malcolm, this is disgusting." And I was like, "That ain't me." I was like, "That's your daughter." And she was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Jasmine." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "You should know." Like she, like her mom knows. Like she was like kind of like messy in high school.
Your daughter was messy before she left your house.
Right. It was funny though, cause she was like, cause Jasmine was like, "Oh, that's me." And I was like, and like her mom just assumed it was me and stuff, cause like you know, cause like they not used to like.
Man, I did janitorial work for 3 years. Women are the most disgusting creatures on earth. I don't give a fuck with nobody. I've done janitorial work for 3 years in my past at a hospital, public restrooms, all that shit. Women are the most disgusting creatures on this fucking earth. I don't give a fuck. Come at me, bro. I don't care. Women are disgusting.
He's like, don't let them fool you thinking that we dirty.
Women are disgusting.
That's
I
funny.
don't care what nobody says. So
no, but it's funny like when people just assume like stereotypes, cause like I remember I was somewhere and I think it was like one of my old jobs or whatever, and it was like one of those like events or some shit, and it was like, "I bet you don't even cook." I was like, "Yeah, I cook," cause I no, you know what it was? Yeah, it was one of my old jobs. Here's what I remember. It was one of my old jobs where I had brought my lunch. And it was like, "Oh, your wife made that?" I was like, "No, I did." And it's like, "You don't cook. I bet you don't even clean too. You don't even know how to clean. Most men don't." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like,
"Oh, that's treat her ass."
Yeah, I was like,
just because your relationship ain't shit, don't
right.
blame that shit on me.
I was like, "Nigga."
We were at a problem.
I was like, "Nigga, I've been cleaning since the age of like 6, 5, like cleaning and like cooking for myself and shit."
Yeah, she would have cursed out.
Like, you want to know how like stereotype I am? Like back when we was in high school, when we had the culinary class.
Y'all had a culinary class?
Yeah, we had a cooking class. Like it came later. I remember that shit. It was like after school thing or whatever, and like motherfuckers was surprised that I could cook. And you know what was extra funny? Like majority like all those girls that was in their class, like they couldn't boil water, bruh. They was burning water.
I thought you were gonna say your milkshake brought all the girls to the yard.
And they're like nah, they couldn't even boil water, G. I remember like we were baking like cupcakes. And there's one girl, it's like I don't know how she fucked it up. Like I made a cheesecake and shit. And my shit came out good. And like she was baking like cupcakes and shit. I don't know how, bruh, but a cupcake had like water and shit in the middle of it. So like it was cooked on the outside, but it was just like the cupcake mix on the inside. It was horrible. I was like, how the fuck did you even do that? I was like, literally all we had to do, like the chef gave us
you make the mix and you just pour it in there and let it bake.
No, like the chef gave us like the instructions and shit. And I was like, you were doing something that was like on like level 1 easy, and I was doing something like level like 6.
Right.
And I was like, I just found it funny. Like, I was like, yeah, that's like it's crazy.
But yeah, man, 28 years I ain't had to cook.
That's crazy, man.
That's a long ass.
That's a long ass time.
That's a nigga. He got a phobia. He's scared of the kitchen.
He don't know, yeah. He walk in the kitchen, he don't know what to do. Goddamn. It's like a whole foreign country there.
Goddamn, I started clicking to turn the fire on. Whoo! You got a goddamn phobia. 28 years going into the goddamn kitchen.
That's crazy, bro.
That's a long ass time, bro. I'm 29, so I know that's a long ass time to not be in the kitchen, not to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
That is insane, bro.
That's wild. Starting in the 3-2.
I mean, it works for them.
I got married at 23.
True.
A year and a half later, I was pregnant with my first of 5. I love having a big family. There's this built-in community and support for one another. My
I wonder if she was
middle
an
daughter
only
is a beautiful
child.
girl, and she's so independent and all over the place, and traveling all over by herself. I want her to be safe. I want her to be happy. I'd love for her to get married. She met a wonderful man, and she seems really happy.
I am scared of disappointing my mother or daughter.
I am so scared, despite everything that I say. I'm so scared of disappointing you, Mom, and Dad. Oh, I already know I've disappointed Dad. But
You didn't disappoint it to us, actually. I knew you worked very, very hard. You really worked very hard.
Yeah.
So I think you have the
Just
talent.
disappoint him because the damn boyfriend. That's the only thing there.
I think for me, I've risked so much. I want my kids to know that risk is okay, that a calculated risk is okay. And so I can't fail because I know they're looking at me. And if they have any dreams in their hearts and I give up on mine, how can I ever say something to them, you know?
That's real.
Me personally, I guess I don't really think about it because both of my parents are probably the best role models for like, you do what you want to do. You know, like my dad, he loved trucks and trains since he was a kid, and so he became a truck driver. My mom, she discovered West African dance when she was 18, and so that's what she did. She became a dancer, and then people maybe thought they were crazy, but they did it anyway.
Of course, I'm a little scared of disappointing my mom, but I think overall, I think she's proud, and she knows, you know, that everything that I do is with good intent. And I think if I choose not to get married or have kids, I think that'll be another painful thing for her, but she'll understand because she loves me, and she knows I'm doing what's best for me.
I think there is a part of Rachel, my middle daughter, that I know she doesn't want to disappoint me. She was engaged for a long time to a guy she met when she was 18, and it wasn't right. She wasn't happy. She wasn't glowing. She was so worried about disappointing me because I had already paid for the venue that she was going to go through with the wedding. So I took her for a walk on the beach, and I said, Rachel, I don't care. You could have the flowers in hand, in the white dress, ready to walk down the aisle, and you could say, Mommy, take me away. And I would put you in the car, and you wouldn't have to face anything at all. I think as moms, we just want the best for you guys. We just want you to be fulfilled and happy. And she doesn't want you to have any regrets in life. She doesn't want you to look back when you're our age and go, damn, I wish I had done it differently, or I wish I had made this decision. You know, make sure that you're doing what's going to be right for you, not just now, but for, 20 years from now.
That's real. I would have been like, shit, baby, let me know before Daddy put the deposit down.
The deposit mean I can't get the back.
Yeah, I can't get it back. Like, I don't care what you want to do. Like, whatever you want to do, just let me know.
Just let me know ahead of
time so I can get my shit back. If you feel this ain't right, it ain't right. Just let me know.
Yeah, that's what you got to talk first before you put the deposit down.
Yeah. Like, this is you sure? You happy?
That's like one of them
you
black.
good?
That's one of them black moms when you go to the grocery store. Now, don't you go ahead and act the goddamn fool. You walk your ass down that aisle. I mean, I don't think. Well, as far as the last lady that was talking with Casey, like all the rest of their like disappointing things are kind of minimal. Just because I don't think you could really disappoint your parent unless you do something like completely fucking left.
Yeah, like kill
something. Like murder or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like other than that, I mean, it's a lot of shit that you could do, you can get away with it, you can recover and heal, or what the case is. Mm-hmm. But like, unless you do some shit that's like just totally
ain't no coming back.
Yeah. I don't think that like you can truly disappoint a parent. Like, of course, if they have this design plan for you in your life and you don't go with their plan, I mean, it's your life. Yeah, it's your life. So yeah. But other than that, I don't think you can really disappoint them. Just in my eyes.
agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, you can't really do anything to like disappoint your parents or vice versa, unless it's something like worthwhile, crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think in that regards. Like if they feel like that, because like there are some people that try to vicariously live through their kids and shit. Like, you know, at that point, that's when you have to like tell them, like, you know, like you basically had your turn. It's my turn to like thank you for, you know, bringing me this way, but I'm the captain now.
All right.
This is my ship.
So I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now.
So yeah. Starting in the 3, 2, 1.
Meaning that they both have
You know, as a mom, we really love you guys. And no matter what you do, we love you. Period. It's not about these rigid rules and regulations and you must this and the timeline and the ticking clock. It's about I love you no matter what.
It's a different world now. And so we can't expect you to be the same women that fall into the same roles that maybe I did when I was 22. It's opened my mind. So I'm very grateful for that. So thank you.
And it's good to hear from people's perspective, people who have gone the more traditional route of getting married and having kids, and to see you fulfilled. That's really great.
I think today it was nice to have an open and honest communication with some other mothers that I think my mom would agree with. So it was really nice to maybe hear the words that she would want to say to me, but she doesn't feel right saying to me. And I really appreciated hearing that, and it's helped me, I don't know, maybe rethink some things.
I definitely know that sometimes when my parents tell me something, I kind of blow it off. It's not that they'll never get it, but it's just we come from two completely different times. You know, the world is changing, we're all changing, we're always changing.
Probably I gave Cassandra a lot of pressure. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't do that on purpose. I want to communicate with you more. I hope to know anything deep in your mind. And you can ask me anything you want to from now on. Okay?
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
What do you want for your daughter's future?
I just want to see her happy. I would want to see her just continue to know that those things that are in her heart are valid, are important, and that the world needs them and needs her.
The challenges that young women have today are very different. When I was younger, there was, you know, a few paths that I could take. But now, you know, women can do anything.
You know, me not being a mom myself, it's hard for me to realize the reasoning behind my mom's opinions. I know she only has my best interests in mind.
Mama look like Melissa McCarthy here.
Yeah, she do.
That's why I had to turn my head a little bit.
I was just kind of thinking that. I was like, who does she look like?
I don't think it was her, but she kind of looked like her.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This is a topic that's really close to our hearts, and it was an absolute privilege to have all these women come in and open their lives up to us and be a part of this discussion.
Absolutely, and we want to send a huge shout out to SK2. Thank you so much. They made this video possible, and they were super supportive. So we highly recommend that you guys check out #Timelines. It's this awesome docu-series that SK2 did with Katie Couric. It explores the pressures put on women around the world by like society and their families, but it also shows amazing stories of women who are following their dreams and creating their own destiny. And we hope that you guys do the same.
Our team here at Jubilee loved this series, and we know that our audience will too. Until next time, guys. See ya.
Love docus. Mama, you know I love you. Oh yeah. That was cool. Now let's get the fathers and sons in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
One time. That's all I'm saying. I love all this women empowerment shit that's been going on, but don't forget about the dads.
All we get is ties.
Right. Ties and robes and slippers. So yeah.
It's like if I get another goddamn tie. That's so funny.
Oh shit. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Dread Dads Podcast. And make sure to follow us all our social media networks, Dread Dad Podcast, except for Twitter, Two Dads with Dreads.